Good evening, all of you. How are you all? Sunny Kumar, how are you? Very good evening. Welcome to our 2G IT program. Welcome to the module PLSQL. Good evening, Akshay, Kunal, Rajesh, everyone. Good evening once again. Have you all gone through the first chapter? Can I know from all of you, just to get an idea? From plus and minus, just to come to know like how you have prepared the PLSQL chapter 1. Rajshekaran, Sambram, Suraj, Vaidhavi, all of you from all locations, Bandra, Andheri Center, Rajnagar, Sambram, Borivali, Tescoper Center, whoever are there. Actively participate, please. Lakshmi. 1 minute, Aishwarya, give me 1 minute. So Lakshmi, Aishwarya, could you please check it now? I hope you will experience better now. Fine. So in the last class, we had a discussion on, yes, Aishwarya. We had a discussion on understanding the role of PLSQL. We had a discussion on benefits of PLSQL, different type of PLSQL blocks we discussed, and we started writing PLSQL statements to achieve the output of the PLSQL. So there we have used like dbms underscore output.putLine method, which is available in the server.output. If you can change the property as on, then you will get the report. So those are all the things have been completed in the last class. Now the session 2, declaring PLSQL variables. So this is the one we are going to discuss now, and we will discuss many things in this session of working with PLSQL variables. One minute, sharing the screen to you all. So generally, while you are writing programs using any programming language, we need to have the place to store the values. The name of the memory location, we call it as a variable. Suppose I want to store a value in a particular memory block. So the memory block, whatever the block I created, to store a value like the score or marks or the salary of anything, there I may store a value, right? The value can be something as 90. So the name of that particular memory location, as I am defining the name as something like score. So the score is the memory location. The name of the memory location is a variable. So the spelling is not correct, but I hope you can understand this. So score is a variable where you store a value in the memory location of the computer. So variable is a named memory block. So variable is a named memory block. Simple. But why do we need to discuss about the variables now? Because there are different ways we can write the programs, and while writing the programs, we can declare the variables. So variable you can consider in a different terms is an identifier. What is identifier? Like again, I want to give a brief point of explanation here. So I have a location where I have a value to be stored, right? So this is the one block where I want to store a value. This is another block where I want to store a value. So these two blocks are making me to identify the values. So one block is number 1, the second block is num2, right? So here the num1 is the value I'm going to store in this location, as the value I'm storing is the 12. Num2 I'm storing value as 30. So I want to store the result in a different variable, as num3 is the variable I want to have to store the result of num1 plus num2. So how do I identify the values of these memory locations? So variables, right? But how can I declare? What are the rules I should follow to declare the variables? Is there any proper specifications are there to write a program while you are writing the program using variables? So these are all the objectives of this session. Right? Recognize valid and invalid identifiers, list the uses of variables, declare and initialize variables, list and describe various data types, and identify what is a type attribute, and declare, use, print, bind variables. These are the different objectives we should achieve by end of this session today. Can I know from all of you? Is it clear to you all? Yes, these are all the objectives what we are going to reach and achieve today. Okay? Yes, all of you, Akshay and Sunny, fine, thank you. Right. So first objective, we are going to discuss about introduction of the variables. There I want to share some of the points. Variable can be considered as a temporary storage of data, is a named memory block. So variables can be used to manipulate the stored values. So I want to increase the value of salary. So where it is being affected, variable only. I want to find the average score of all subjects of a student. Where the value is affected, it is in the memory area where you store a average. So that's the way you can understand about the variables while you are writing any program in PLSQL. So while you are writing the variables, certain rules we should follow. Variable name must start with a letter, right? Must start with a letter. Like letter in the sense, it can start with an alphabet. Can include letters or numbers. So it can be like number, and it can be with number 1, like salary January 2016. So that I can write a variable. I can write a variable as sal. So this is a valid variable name. So I'm writing salary underscore 06. So that is the June salary. So including numbers. Can include special characters such as dollar you can use, underscore you can use, and hash you can use. Okay. So you can use these symbols. Underscore I have used here. Must contain no more than 30 characters. So variable length. In the salary, total 6 characters. In the salary underscore 06, total 9 characters, including underscore. But maximum of 30 characters length must not be include a reserved word. Reserved word in the sense like here, the PLSQL is supports with a different library, references of functions, keywords. Those are all we should not use as the names of the variable, right? So variable name should be a real word, verb, right? Or variable name can be a noun. The thing what you observe in the real life. But some of the names like a reserved word, like a type attribute is there. You cannot use the type keyword as the variable name. Reason? That is a keyword in the PLSQL language. Can I know from all of you, please? Is it clear? Certain common rules we experience here, right? Yes, Sunny. Very good, Sunny. Your response is impressive. Akshay. Yes, Akshay. Verbally center. Very good. So, handling variables in PLSQL. Variables are declared and optionally initialized in the declarative section. So, if you want to declare a variable within the declarative section, you can declare it. In the last class, we discussed about the declaration. Yes, square yes, Swanan. Very good. For whom it's not clear, they can ask me if anyone has a question. But very slow, you are all joining to the session. Those who are coming late may not find comfort of understanding the session, and they may respond in a different way. That I won't accept in case if you are late and querying me as you are not understanding, right? Can I know from all of you? If you have any question, you can ask me. I will wait for a while. Yes, everyone, fine. Yes, Shayan, you are using a different login. The name is showing as Satya. Okay, fine. So variables have different advantage and purpose. Variables can be declared, initialized in the declarative section, and variables are for the purpose of assigning new values in the executable code section. You can pass variables as parameters to the PLSQL subprograms like functions, and variables can hold the result of certain computations in PLSQL subprograms. So these are the purposes of the variables we experience and we learn in our program. Okay. So how do you declare a variable is the one. Then we will go for practically, we will experience and we will discuss how to work with the variables. I'll show many examples of working with the variables. First, I request you all to consider that what the way we need to understand initial discussion. Okay. So now once if you consider a small example here, the variable names declared. Hire date is a data type is date, department number data type, not null, and value is initialized as 10. Location varchar of 13 characters length, and Atlanta is the value initialized. C underscore commission. Here this is representing the variable name as a prefix with the data type. V stands for varchar, V stands for varchar, V stands for varchar. C stands for a constant number, or else you can use it for any char data type, you can generally use it. So while you are declaring the variables in your PLSQL programs, fine. So there you can define these variable names with meaningful names which you are using in the program, and at the same time you should ensure that the variable name should not be a reserved word. Point taken. Fine. And variable must associate with a data type. So you can recall your general subject. Fine. General C# or any languages what you learn, the same thing you can apply. Okay. C is a character or a constant number. It is like a constant number, Aishwarya. There it's a constant, not like a character. Okay. In that example, it was like a constant. There are different data types it supports, and different character categories of the variable declaration as possible. One is like a constant value you can declare for the variables also. You can declare the variables local, global, in different ways we can work with the variables. V stands for varchar. By date is the data type, and then why we are using V before hire date. Okay. Hussein, as this example, they have given a hire date here. So if you look into this, the example, department number hire date is date data type. So they mentioned as the like it is like a varchar data type they mentioned. It is not a rule that it must be prefixed with date or it will be prefixed with V or any other data type. If you follow that, it is a best practice called as, is a method called as Hungarian method. If you follow that, it is the best practice. That's all. No way related to any advantage in the program, but it would be more meaningful and it's the best practice of the programmer. Right? As you are a programmer, if you are writing, if you write it in that particular way, then that gives a proper meaning, like you are following a standard way of writing the programs in PLSQL. That's all. Okay. And one more thing you need to analyze here while you are declaring the variable. So initialization of the value is this colon equal to is the initialization value. So this generally in programming languages we use this equal to symbol to initialize a value to a variable. But in our PLSQL the initialization should be done with colon equal to, right? So whatever it is. And at the time of declaring the variable you can represent whether the variable can hold a value, must or not, that you can mention. Not null means variable when you declare it must has a value. Fine. Any questions? All of you please respond. No questions. If you have a question you can ask me now. Fine. I want to go for a small program to create and then I will go for some other things to work. Okay. Clear. Okay. So let me go for a small program, then we'll move for other things to discuss. Some are there in the textbook, anyhow we can easily understand, and some additional things I want to share from my side also. So I want to put a point of writing the program in a notepad, so that I want to take it to place it into my Oracle environment. Fine. So the variable can be declared in the declarative section, or you can write it somewhere in the program as you required in any place. So I want to write a small program for declaring variables. So here there is no rule that it can be represented using declared as a uppercase character, and you can write it in small case also. Here I am creating as integer. I am declaring a variable as a. Fine. So I want to initialize the value to the variable a as 10. So I am taking one more variable b as the integer and passing a value as 20. So two variables have been declared, and I want to declare one more variable, that is the c as integer, and I want to make this variable not to be initialized with any value. Reason, this I want to use it for storing any other value over there. Fine. So these three variables I declared in the declarative section, the begin and end. Two things I want to use, right? So in this I want to write the statement of the c is the variable. I am using c colon equal to adding of two numbers. It is simple program. So a plus b is the statement. So in this a and b values will be added and copies into the location of the c. C equal to a plus b. So the result of the addition will be stored into the variable c. Yes, Sunny. Small c. Yes, Sunny. Thank you. That is the right approach you are following. Right. So now in this begin and end, I want to perform the arithmetic operation. Then I want to add a line of statement. So that is dbms underscore output. Right. Then what is the method I should use? Put line. In this I want to pass the value of c. So the c value I am passing, and I terminated it as the general termination. So I want to write a statement here, set server output on. So when you are using this set server output on, then it can be used as the property is assigning to the output environment to display the value. Okay. Put line is a method using like how you generally use a println statement in Java. The same manner here, put line is a method to write the content which you have passed as argument into the output stream. So let me log in into the environment. I placed the program here and I am executing. And I want to terminate. So can anyone analyze the error? What the error we experience here? Can I know from anyone what could be the error here? Make it fast. I ask you all to analyze the error here. Okay. No. Put underscore line. Okay. Put underscore line is the method. Then only it would be accepted as the method. So the result is 30. You all can see the output here. Result is 30. Put under, yes, Hussein, exactly correct. Hussein has given an answer as it should be separated with underscore. So put line, put underscore line. So I want to add a concatenation value of C. That I want to write it here. So then if I execute it, it shows a result. So the value of C I have concatenated, but I forgot the concatenation symbol, then this will be the effect of this. So value of C is 30. Can I know from all of you, is it clear? We have declared 3 variables. One is A, B, and third one is C. And we have used the third variable to store the result of the summation. And we achieved the result as a simple program of output. All of you? Yes. Very good. So when you go to the courseware program, a small program I am sharing here, which is there in the courseware, this I am not going to type. I request you all to type and you can experience in your practicals. Because it's there in the courseware and it's there in the courseware with complete explanation. Right? This you can do while you are reading the courseware. Point taken? So I want to share some points regarding this, then we shall move forward. In this declarative section is the first one. The declarative section where you declare a variable, same I have done in my program. My name is the variable, is a varchar data type, so it is prefixed with the character V. It is a best practice, no rule. If you want to be a good programmer, generally the standards if you follow, then you can prefix with V. Otherwise you can directly write it as my name. Okay. Then begin and in between end. What we have defined here. One is the declarative section variable, second one is your body. So what you have defined in the body. Begin and end is representing the area of the content of the program. DBMS underscore output dot put underscore line. So this is the user defined string. That is my name is Meher. How you will represent yourself, like my name is Akshay, my name is Vinay, like how you will write, right? Same manner here, the output will be displayed with the value after it has been concatenated with the value of the variable, right? So the same thing I have mentioned, value of C is. But here another variable has been declared inside that particular body of the program. So that is the variable declared as this is John. My name is John. Fine. So again the variable has been reinitialized inside that particular program. But you please observe here. The variable has been reinitialized inside that particular program. First one is not initialized. Okay. But when you display, what will be the output? But second one, you initialize with a value. Then what will be the output? So those two things we shall see with our program, and I want to change a small change in the program, then we shall move forward. Okay. Then after that again we shall initialize a value, then we shall reinitialize the value. What will happen we shall see. Okay. There I am taking you all to the screen to explain the same. I am copying the program to create in such a way. The same thing I can copy and paste it here, but I want to make it much more clear. So declarative section, I want to declare a variable. I don't want these many. So I want to declare a variable as the character data type. My name as varchar of 20 characters length. Fine. So variable declared, but variable is not initialized. So there I don't require this. I don't require any other things here. I want to use my name is. So instead of this string, I am using my name is. So that is going to be concatenated with the variable my name. Okay. So that's the line I'm copying here as the same program, just it's modified. Now this is the one we are going to display. Then again, first I want to display this, then I will show what will be the difference here. Then we shall move forward for other things to discuss. So set a server output on. I want to make this statement to be available in the program. Fine. So now I'm executing. So my name is, there is no output because we did not copy any value over there. So now I want to change something in this. The same line of the output message I want to copy here, but for my variable I want to initialize a value. My name, I want to copy a value as something I want to write, like ABCD. So now if you execute it, it shows the value as my name initially was 0, nothing was assigned, and second one is ABCD. Yes, Aditya and Sunny, very good. Can I know from all of you, is it clear to you all? So second one, I want to take this example, I want to copy it in this notepad. Then we shall modify it into a different way. Got it? Very good. So I copied this program. Then we shall change it to a different style. Okay. Now here, this is not initialized with any value. The variable is declared. I want to make it as a separate program again. So the difference you can see. Now I want to initialize with a value equal to ABCD. Right? So the ABCD value has been initialized to this. Then I want to display, then I want to reinitialize it. So why did not the output appear previously? So the page was not loaded, right? Browser not responded properly. That is nowhere related to Oracle. Okay? Satya, but your name is different. You please add your name every time when you are sending a message. Okay? So here after it displays, I am changing as MNOP. So the value as we change it as MNOP for this variable. So I'm going to compile, like I want to run this once again. Begin. I declared and initialized the value. My name has been reinitialized again. Fine. Then what could be the error in this? Encountered the symbol begin, is expecting one of the following. Begin we have written, and line 3. So it's not been terminated here, ABCD. Then I executed. So now variable value is ABCD, and again variable has been reinitialized with a value MNOP. So that value has been reinitialized. Old value is not available. Okay. Yes, Sunny, very good. Right. So this is the way you can understand the variable reinitialization. Once if you reinitialize, the old value will be out from the variable and it can appear with the new value. Can I know from all of you, please? So delimiters in string literals. Delimiter in the sense you want to include a certain quotation mark using Q as the quoted identifier. I want to use a quoted identifier here. So very clear example, simple example it is. This is a variable declared. This is a declarative part of the variable as the variable e-event. Variable name is e-event. So this variable is a varchar data type variable it is, and it is going to initialize the value with a quotational mark, that is single quotation. For that we are using a quoted identifier here. When you use a Q as a quoted identifier, then that single quotation you want to include in the statement. So Father's Day. So the result of this will be appeared as the quoted identifier here. You can see the result is quoted identifier. So for that we are using a Q as the quoted identifier, and when you use this you will get the result of the same, as the single quotation will be appeared in that. Otherwise, there is a meaning to the single quotation here. Every variable value should be included in single quotation. But if we are using an additional single quotation, that should be identified by the Oracle compiler as this is a single quotation as the value to be included into the text. So the text is Father's Day. So in that the single quotation has been included. So third Sunday in June is Father's Day. So again Mother's Day. Second Sunday in May is Mother's Day. So a first PS is used for mothers and fathers. Can I know from all of you? This you can do practically while you are doing practicals, and you can type it and you can experience the same, because output also you will get exactly as it is. Expecting response from all of you. Make it fast. Will it show anonymous block completed in the output? Shayan, where that you are expecting anonymous block. So that is the one. Like based on the IDE, you will experience that output. Otherwise, same like what I have presented, the same result it will show without any other type of anonymous block. Okay. It may be the entire program can be an anonymous block, but in this IDE, it doesn't show such a way. Yes, Akshay Mahendra, very good. He also did practice. Very, very, very. So that is the way we can easily understand about the variables. Okay. But one thing, I will share many examples related to the variables, and I will share many examples related to the data types in our group. Okay. And what are the questions we are asking here? In case if there is any question, if you raise any question while the class is going on, these questions answer what I will orally provide to you all now. I will provide with text answers also, like with a notes answers. Those are all useful for your interviews as frequently asked questions. So in every session, whatever the questions our batchmates ask, I will answer immediately in the class. But the same thing, I will make it available in the group as the question and answer, right? Apart from this, what I will provide to you all, multiple programs and variables I will provide. From now onwards, you have like practical inputs with you all, lot of things you can do in lab. So practical examples, additional. That is one I will share, and data types and examples using different data types. So these are all additional things I will provide to you all. That's my point, what I shared with you. So two different things you can find in your group. So I will clearly mention that what is additional, what is actual one. Okay. So classroom exercises, what are there, and I will provide solutions for classroom exercises. Apart from that, anyhow, you are all doing, you can find what are the examples given in courseware. Apart from this, yes, Akshay, these practical examples, additional I will provide, and different data types, because we discussed about what data types, we discussed about only integer, I explained where char. These are primary data types, automatically comes into Oracle, PLSQL also. But we can discuss more about the different things, and on this data types and additional things, cloud consultation will be on tomorrow. Okay. So on this area and data types, we will have a additional doubt clarification session and additional input session. Tomorrow we will have the cloud consultation, but the time will be afternoon. Okay. So those who can participate, they can participate. Okay. Fine. So now we shall move for the next agenda. Examining variable data types and the type attribute. No, Shayan, it is not compulsory. It is a cloud consultation. Cloud consultation in the sense, no need to come to the center. Akshay Mahendra, this is from, I will explain everything around 3:30. Okay, it would be in the afternoon around 3:30. So I will give clear details of that by end of our session today. Okay, now again we shall go back and we shall concentrate on our activity because the topic came, that's why I have given the idea to you all. Okay, so examining variable data types and the type attribute. It's very impressive attribute it is, and it makes us and makes our work easy and makes our work perfect. So that we shall see how it will be, right? Oh, you have batch at that time, so that I will take into consideration. Yes, Sonal, Aditya. That's the reason I will discuss with you. Then only I will give the confirmation. Okay? Sonal, Aditya, everyone from every location. Right. So PLSQL types of variables. Here we need to understand some of the things related to the types of variables. I want to make it clear, much more clear about these data types, because these data types actually, while you are working with PLSQL, you can store a small value, right? A scalar variable. I want to mention certain points related to this. Sonalia. Sonalia, it is not showing your name as Sonalia here. Okay, it is showing as Sonal. So even next time also I may forget, because out of many students sometimes I may forget it, but you please accept it as I am calling you as Sonalia. Okay, but I will try to remember that. Right. So PLSQL data types. While you are declaring the variable, every variable must associate with a data type. Integer, float, char, all. Okay, Sonalia, fine. Scalar variable, reference type, large objects, LOBs, composite data types, non-PLSQL variables like bind variables. We will discuss everything elaborately. So I want to share the notes of explanation. So the scalar variable and other things I want to share with you all. Then I will move forward. Okay. So it's an image to understand more about the scalar variables and other things. Now one after one we shall see. I will make it clear. I am writing some content in the notepad. Scalar. So very easily you can analyze. Scalar data type variable. Scalar holds a single value. Single value. Suppose here I declare a variable. Very example is a simple example you can easily analyze. I declare a variable as integer number. So I want to declare the variable as the integer data type, as the previous example how you declared a variable. So I am writing salary as number data type. So it is scalar because salary is one value that you can consider as 100 or 1000 or 10,000 or 1 lakh, whatever the value you want to pass. Fine. Scalar data type is called as scalar variable. I hope you are all clear, right? So reference type variables. These reference type variables are called as pointers, like cursor. Okay. So second one is reference types. Reference types are called as pointers. So we generally use these pointers to refer the address of the storage location. Okay. Pointers to refer the so that is the data type we use, but not immediately we discuss about that. We'll discuss about that. Okay. Scalar. Scalar data type is the data type which holds one value. So under scalar it comes like, okay, under scalar it comes like number is a scalar, char is a scalar, varchar is a scalar, because these are all the variables holds a small single value. Sunny, taken my point? Scalar, I have written here as scalar data type. So that is the example I have mentioned as salary as 1 lakh. 1 lakh is a single value, right? Reference type pointers that we are not going to discuss at this stage, like your cursor. Okay. Fine. So then LOBs, LOB data type, large objects. So LOB data types is called as large objects. So I want to mention the statement is, so large objects like images, videos, GPS data is called as locators to hold the values. Those are called as large objects. Okay. So you will come to know many things about like whatever the data types we are discussing here, and we will come to that stage of understanding. Okay. And apart from this, many I will provide. So composite data type. Based on different data types, you want to create a single data type. Those data type is called as composite data types. So those are called as PLSQL record is the one, collections, PLSQL collections and records. So composite data type is those are called as PLSQL collections. Now at this stage you cannot easily analyze it. So those can be records. We will discuss about these things practically in the coming chapters. So there are different things in each chapter we will discuss and we will learn. Okay. Can I know from all of you? I hope you all have understood some extent of the data types here. So it is only the subject of understanding, but practically way of understanding again we will discuss. Okay. Just I have mentioned the data types what are all available. Okay. Composite data type Aditya. So I have composite data type. Name is a character data type, like employee varchar name. Okay. Employee age is number. Employee address is varchar. These three I want to create as a single data type. It's called as record. Second point, Aditya. So that is called as composite. Combination of some data types as you created a single data type. Right, Aditya. The same thing in programming languages like structure. Okay. So if you all can recall what is structure, then easily you can understand it. Yes, C and C++ we use structures. These are all called as structures only. Okay. Now here you can see the image I want sharing. True is one. The true is a Boolean data type. True or false will be held with the Boolean. So I am writing here this is a Boolean data type. So this is the Boolean data type, true or false. And then if you look into this, another thing that is a data type is the date data type. So where the 15th Jan is the date data type. And you have the image is a binary large object. Boolean means we can choose only a data. No, it is we use for a comparison as true or false. True or false is the comparison. Okay. This is the image as the binary large objects. Blob, image data. Blob is the image data. Point taken. So this text is called as character large object. Glob. Blob is binary large object. Glob is character large object. This character large object you can create with varchar 2 also. because you want to store group of characters, you can create a character large object, or you can go for varchar2 also. Fine. So this number is the float value or like decimal format. The decimal format is with certain other things, precision and scale. Precision and scale is that, so how many characters before the decimal, how many characters after the decimal is considered as precision and scale. That is one format. I hope you all have understood that point. Fine. So this is the video file, is called as binary file. So this is the video as B file. I want to write it as binary data type. So you may download something from internet, but that can be a video or audio or an image, or it can be a text or any other format. Okay, that you can store in these all the data types in the database. Okay. Second point, expecting response from all of you. So Atlanta is the general data type that you can consider as varchar or varchar2. All of you, is it clear? The data types, other things I have just mentioned over there. All centers, all batchmates, please respond. Yes, very good, Aditya. Right. Anyone, if you have any question, you can ask me. Right. Got it. Sonalia, yes, very good. So now we shall go for certain guidelines for declaring initializing PLSQL variables. Shayan, very good. From Tambaram. So generally when you declare a variable, you better to follow the consistent naming conventions. As you like, you should not declare. So like a very simple point it is. Vasa center actually. Okay. But every time when you are writing your name, you please, for every question you please add your name. And one time you please write your name, phone number and your center, then easily I can understand. In a single line you write everything, then I can keep it in my record. So guidelines, while you are declaring the variables, you should follow certain guidelines for declaring the variables. What are the guidelines you should follow? Naming conventions you should follow. As you like, you should not declare a variable. Suppose I want to store salary of a month. So what is this Jansal? This is fine, right? So I cannot use type Saljan. So if I type like this with a type attribute, or I want to declare type is a keyword, I cannot use for any other purpose. Okay. So here in this statement it is correct only. Reason, it is a single word of many things. But if you use some other things, it is not with a proper meaning. But Jansal is also not complete proper meaning. But if you can write it in a very proper way, Jan underscore sal, easily we can understand it is a January salary. So such a way, standards you can follow and conventions you can follow. Shayan, you can write your email ID and phone number because it's not showing any details of you here. Okay. So when you declare a variable as not null and constant, you must initialize the value to the variable. So I want to share a program where you can declare a variable with a constant. Okay, that I want to take it for understanding here. Fine. Okay. So I'm sharing the screen. Yes, Shreyan. Shreyan is fine. Good. Mumbai Vasai Center and Shreyan, you connected to Chennai Tambaram Center. How did you get the login? Okay. Right. So you are using a different login. Okay. Try to find your login. That would be good. So I will copy this program because I want to write something. So in the declaration section, I don't want to use this for declaration. So this is a declaration. Constant. So I'm declaring a variable as a constant type. So pi value, I want to make it as a constant because it's a fixed value, it cannot be changed. Okay. So I've made it as QNSTNT constant. So the number is the data type. So before that I prefixed with constant, right? So constant is the number. Then I want to initialize the value equal to 3.14. Then you can initialize some other values also, 15 like something, right? Are you all clear? Just I declared a variable. Right? Fine. Yes, I will explain that. That is for comment. Exactly. The hyphen is a single line comment I am using. So then I am moving forward. Then I will explain the remaining things. So I want to declare another variable is area. So area I want to declare as a number type. Number type with a precision scale I want to write 10, 2. So that is the way a variable declared. Okay. So then I don't want to have this variable, I don't want to have this statement, just I want to use it. The pi value is constant, it never will change it in the program. At any stage you cannot reinitialize it, so that you can use exactly as you require. Okay. So this the statement in the beginning, I want to write this area equal to so area I want to use the pi value into. So area we did not initialize anything, right? So I want to declare one more variable here. I want to declare one more variable. So radius. I want to find that area, right? Number data type I want to take. Some of the programs I make ready for every class, then easily we can use those directly to apply. Okay. So I want to initialize the variables here. Radius equal to some value I want to pass 9.5. Radius we declare number and scale precision, so I initialize it. Okay. Area equal to pi into radius into radius. So that is the one I want to write it here. Fine. So then I want to display the value here. So single directly I want to write it here as the area. Then I want to concatenate as with the variable name area. So we declared a variable as a constant type. The value of the variable is 3.1415. So scale and precision like whole number with decimal values. Okay. Shayan. So radius is the number data type, area is number data type, radius equal to 9.5, we initialize the value to the radius, okay. Then we are calculating the area equal to pi into radius, fine, then we are displaying the value. So I want to take this program to be copied and executed here. Session will be off because sometimes if you don't use longer time, then that would be, so area we calculated, so the constant value you can find here. So why that it can be a constant is the question, right? So this variable, whatever you declared, again if you want to initialize it, so I want to initialize the pi again in the body section. So I am initializing the pi value as something as pi equal to, so something I want to initialize as some different value, okay. So that is reinitialization here. So I am going to do something wrongly, I am changing, I am reinitializing it, fine. Pi cannot be used as an assignment target. So you cannot use it as an assignment target. Reason, it's a constant one, second time you cannot use it. Right? Can I know from all of you? Have you all taken that? So reinitialization is not possible. But in the previous example, if you take the previous example, so my name you initialized once, my name you reinitialized again, right? So that is reinitialization. It's not constant, okay? So you can give a space in before the character, okay? Before the single quotation, you can give a space, then you will get it. So like whoever asking a space, I want to get it in between. So area, whatever you have written inside, so there you can give a space, then you can execute it, so you'll get the space over there. So I hope you found the space which I am showing here. So the minimum space has been given, the required space, and you can find the output also. Fine. So while you are declaring the variables, sometimes usually we declare a variable without considering whether that particular column type is there or not, okay. So actually in the employee table, you have a variable, we have a column called employee ID. So that if you look into the employees table in HR schema, you have employees table, employee ID column with the name employee ID. So if you declare a variable as employee ID here, when you are copying from the column to a value, how it will identify that? So that I want to share it very simple statement it is. I'll share all these things, that's why I'm copying here. Fine. So I want to just mention employee ID is the variable name, okay, underscore ID. So this employee underscore ID, I want to make it as a number data type. Okay. 6 numbers scale only. So I don't want to use all these things. I want to use my employee ID to take a value from here. So select star from employees. So it retrieves all employees data because it is a statement of general retrieval statement of table. So I want to read their data where last underscore name. So Helston last underscore name equal to. So this is only particular employee one name, where last name equal to Haristan. So no rows. So why no rows? Then let me check this. Employees I want to use. Okay, employee. So I want to mention that where employee table, last name is Matthews. So this is the name I'm using. Employees table is different from employee table. I have employee table. Okay. So in this employees I want to use, then it would be easy because I want to declare the variable with the same name. So let me retrieve it once. So I want to use the variable name, employee name as Grant. Okay. So Grant is the employee. I have retrieved the two members are there. Okay. So that is also a trouble because I am using only one variable out there. 1 minute. Maurice. I'm using Maurice as the name here. Extra space. One character extra space. What is this? 1 minute. There is a character gap in before the, in between. If there is a gap, it creates an error. Okay. Fine. Then I will go for that. So I don't want everything. I want to take only employee ID from here. So that is the one we are well aware. So then I am reading only one value. So employee ID is 203. This statement I want to take, and I want to use this statement to copy a value. That is the actual objective. So select employee ID into my variable employee ID. Okay. My variable employee ID. So then you tell me how it will identify that. Okay. From employees where last name is Marvis. So then you want to display the employee ID over there. So how it is possible if both have the same name, column name and your variable name? So then it would lead to an error, right? So I'm copying the entire program, then I'm placing here, then I execute it. Then I executed. My ID is 203, right? My ID is 203. Then I got the ID. Employee ID number data type. Got the point? So these recommendations of avoiding the variable names, which would lead to confusion, maximum possible, you should avoid it. Okay. So these are the recommendations or guidelines while declaring the variables. Okay. So when you consider the way how you declare the variables, there are certain standards you can follow, naming conventions of declaring the variables. So when you declare a variable, you better to prefix it v. That is the one actually you asked me while you are using in the data type, date. Okay, date is actually date data type. You can use it as d, but to represent it is a variable. It is not a data type. We prefix it with v underscore date. Suppose here I want to mention that example to you. So I am declaring a variable as it is a date data type. So date as date. So how it is possible? So what I will do, v underscore date. So then what will be the difference? The variable date and second one is date data type, right? So v underscore date as date data type. So then it's very clear. That is the reason we use the B as the variable name. I hope you all have understood now. Constant, when you declare, you can declare as C is the prefix. There is conventions. Conventions in the sense it's like a standard like a method that we are following. It's not a rule. You can write as you require. Okay, but conventions makes us easy to understand every identifier in the program. So subprograms, like you can write it as like a procedure as a parameter subprogram. So binding variables you can use with B. Cursors you can declare with CUR. Record you can write it as REC. Type declaration you can declare as type. Exceptions you can write as E. File handling you can write it as F. Can I know from all of you? Is it clear to you all? Please respond. By seeing this, you don't think that everything we will discuss now. Okay, these are all actually different things we will discuss in different stages of your PLSQL journey. Not today. Okay, so only the conventions what you should follow is the objective from this. Fine. Type attribute. So I want to share general example of type attribute and easily you can understand. It's a database column definition. So you are declaring variables, but do you know what actually the value available in that particular table? So I want to share a simple thing. I retrieve the customers table here. So there is a table customers and you can find the data types here. So to perform anything, I need to consider, in case if I want to take the data from the customer table into a variable, same like the previous example. So I want to store customer name. I should consider what name, what data type is there in that particular column, right? DESC is to describe the structure of the table that I have used to retrieve the data types of the table. DESC is describing table structure, right? I am taking the structure of the table using DESC keyword, right? Now, when I am reading the data of this employee, customer name or customer age, customer address, salary, I should find the data types of these values. Then according to that, I should declare a variable. But it's a very complex thing. Okay. Reason, this typing is an unnecessary process. So how can I declare a variable according to the same data type used in the column? So type attribute. Is it to declare a variable according to the database column definition, or to declare another variable based on one variable? So how do you make it? It should be prefixed with database table and column name and name of the declared variable. So easily you can understand. I want to take you all to explain that type attribute to you all. So please consider a small example of the type attribute I want to share. Fine. Sharing the screen. Give me 1 minute of time, please. Screen share. Fine. So first I want to take the customer's data type here. So name I'm taking as varchar of 20. So this I want to copy name as varchar of 20. So just I'm taking this. Okay. Age is number data type. It's not null. So such a way I have certain data types here. Salary is number data type. Kaushal, I did not get you what you want to know. So now, as actually while I'm declaring any program, while I'm writing, I should ensure the same data type to use to read the value into the variable. Okay. But here the data types why I have written at the time of declaring, I don't want to mention these data types. I want to use exactly the same data types. What is exactly the same data types in the sense? I want to use exactly the data types of whatever are available in the table, the same thing I want to use. Taken point. Fine. I want to share the example to you. Like customer table I want to use. So like I'm taking some customer table data start from customers. So these are the records. I want to take only specific values, name, customer name I'm taking. I want to take customer address and I want to take customer salary also, third column. So when you execute it, you will get the report of these three columns. So I have taken that statement also here as I want to use. So now I want to make it as a program. So entire program I want to copy the fundamental things. So here at the time of declaring in the declarative section, I want to declare my own variable C_ID as the customer ID I want to use. Okay, customer ID I want to declare. Customers is the customer ID I want to declare, but I don't want to take a data type directly from the table. So I want to use the table data type. From table that ID column data type I want to use. So how I can represent it is a table column data type. So modulus type customers.id. Customer ID C_ID is my data type, my variable. My variable is taking the data of the customer ID. So if you look into this, select star from customers. So you can find ID column is there, right? So when you are describing this table structure here, so I want to describe. So it has given ID data type is number, not null. So when I want to take the same thing here, I am using customer.id. So this ID data type will be taken exactly as the value, and I want to initialize the value as 1. So customer ID is 1 now. So I want to declare another variable C_name, customer name. I want to take it from the customers table, same data type of the customers I want to take, and that I want to take it from number. Then I want to represent with a modulus type. So modulus type if I use, it picks up the value of the data type from the customers table. So I want to write C_address, the customer address I want to pick up from the customers table dot address. Okay, point taken, customer address. So there I want to mention type attribute again. Same manner I want to take C_sal, customer salary I want to take. So again I want to represent customers dot salary. Modulus type attribute. So the customer salary type taken, and the address type will be taken, name data type will be taken. So you can see all data types I mentioned over here, right? All of you please consider that. Now here I want to pass these values from customers to select name. Everything I want to pass it to here. This is not required. Select name equal to. I want to pass name as salary into my data types as customer ID is the one. Customer ID variable. Okay. Or else I don't want to use this ID. I want to use ID in the where class into customer name, comma, customer address, and the customer salary. So from customers. So where I want to represent the ID. ID is the customer ID. So where ID equal to my variable which is already initialized with a value and the data type is the data type of the table. So this is the way I can write it. But when I am displaying the value, I need to display a different values here. Point taken. So I want to write customer as I want to concatenate with certain values. So customer, my variable is C underscore name that I want to use. So customer name. Then I want to concatenate some other things from customer from the address I want to use C address. From location, customer from which location you are writing, that is the one. So customer I want to include customer, then concatenate address, and I want to mention the customer salary also. Concatenation it is. C address is the variable that I am using exactly as the same. So earns, customer earns, so that I want to combine with C salary. So the result you can see and you will experience that what way it gives the result. So data type I have taken from the existing data type. Let me complete the execution so that we can see. So there is a concatenation missing here. So C name I have to concatenate it from. So still some errors are there. So we shall see where the errors are there. We declared a type attribute and initialized it with the value where ID equal to CID. Or else I will cut this parameter, then we shall check it. So only error is there in the output statement. Okay, only error is there in the output statement. So we shall recheck the output statement where we have written a wrong statement. So customer, so I have mentioned that customer is the one. C name is my variable that is being concatenated. C name concatenated, but from is missing. So from is also concatenating here. So from when you are concatenating, then I want to concatenate with address. So when it is concatenated, here I am missing this a concatenation also. Then C salary. This one if I can copy here. Fine. I want to place it here. Then it has to show customer Ramesh from Ahmedabad earns 7,000. Right? So it has given the result as you expected. We avoided the error and we got the output. Can I know from all of you? It's not a big concept because we are taking only the reference from here. So both the things you can see the result and the output. I'm using the data type of the column where the table has. So that is dot ID type. Type attribute is representing data type. Sunny, Akshay, all from all locations. Click on place. This much time I spent, I explained many things. Can't you click on plus symbol one time? Yes, Shayan, type is a reference of the data type of the original column. So that's why I used the describe keyword to describe the table structure. I showed the data types. Did I mention a data type here, Shreya? No, I did not mention a data type here, but it is taking a data type of the column, right? Who have a question can ask me. I am available here. If you say at the end you did not understand, that is not fine, right? So if you have any question, now itself you can ask me. If I am here, you can get a clarification for the questions. If I am not there, if the class ends, if you give something like you did not understand, no use of that. Please ask me whatever the doubts you have. Got it, Aditya? Yes. So all of you, I hope you all have understood whatever we discussed. Okay, Satya, Shayan. My name is Meher. Are you a new student today? So my introduction was done and all were introduced themselves, but actually you might be joined late, right? Fine. Sonalia. So now, Boolean variables while you are declaring in a program, Boolean only for true, false, and null values can be assigned to a Boolean variable. Boolean variables, when we reach to the next extent of the topics like working with operators, arithmetic operators, comparison operators, logical operators. So there, to store the result of some comparisons, true or false, is x greater than y, is 10 greater than 5, so is 5 less than 7. So such a type of comparisons, when you want to hold the result of the comparison, we can use a data type. Always holds true or false, that is a Boolean data type. So conditional expressions use the logical operators and or the logical comparison, combination of two different expressions, and the unary operators not to check the variable values. Anyhow, we will move to that extent of the topic related to working with Boolean data types. Log data type variables. Book, you want to store the complete book as a PDF file, a Word document, or any other format, is character large object. When you want to store a data type like images, photos, blob, binary, large objects. When you want to store a movie as a binary file. So you want to store a different character format like Chinese language or any other languages where you want to store the data exactly with that particular specific format of the language. It's called as actually the format of different languages is called as local. Local languages. Local in the sense you want to store the Chinese format, but it's not exactly the format like English and other things. You want to store the data exactly in a different format like our regional languages in India. So then that and cloud. Okay. So these are the data types you have in the log data type variables. So composite data types, anyhow I explained, PLSQL record is a composite and collections is the combination of multiple records is collection. Okay. So true, date, Atlanta and image, all I can make it as a single record. All I can make it as a single record. So record is one, it is holding one value. So my name, address, email, phone number, these are all one record. But my name, your name, all my employee, my colleague's name, so collections. So in a single variable you want to store all. So that is called as collection. Smith, Jones, Nancy, Tim. all you want to combine in a single variable. Can I know from all of you? Is it clear to you all? Yes, fine. So I'm sharing the screen to share certain points with you all. We have one more concept in this to discuss, that is the binding of variables to the environment of your PLSQL. So that we will discuss when we reach to the next section of the topic. If someone has the same name then. So that single variable cannot hold it, right? You can go for certain way of repeatedly reading that. If you use only one ID, no employee will be there with the same ID as the name, right? ID will be one, matches with one employee name. If you use employee name, then it would be a conflict. So you have to use a different way of storing the values in more than one value, right? So scalar variables only we worked. So scalar variable stores only one value. Fine. So that is the reason my salary you cannot set using my name. More than one employee may have the same name, right? So salary will come more than one value. So you cannot use scalar variable, or you cannot set using employee. You can set using employee ID, not with employee name, right? Uniqueness, that is the reason of unique identifiers, right? So let me summarize it. We had a discussion on identifying valid and invalid identifiers, declaration of the variables in a PLSQL block, initializing the variables and using an executable section, scalar and composite data types difference we identified, type attribute we identified, and binding variables only we will discuss in the next class. Then we will start working with executable statements writing. Point taken. So you all should do the practice of all whatever we discuss. Everything you should do practice. Can I know from all of you, have you all taken what you should do in the lab on Friday? Day after tomorrow you have lab practicals. Fine. So now I want to take you all to a point of understanding. Yes. So what about the tomorrow's cloud consultation? So I want to mention the time. Those who cannot attend at, they said that they can't attend at 3:30. So I want to make it as Friday, you have mission room, so that you can attend before doing a practice. Yes. So I'll do one thing. Those who can attend, they can join on Friday for doubt clarifications. And cloud consultation, how it will be, you know, I will provide a link in the group, link to connect to the class. You no need to come to center for this. Okay. Fine. So only the thing, just click on the link and you will be connected to the class. That's all. That is through internet. If you have internet, you can join at home. If you don't have internet, then you request your center, because the place should be available. No. It's a cloud consultation as well, like a private class, not from studio. No need to come to center for this. Okay. But lab practicals, you should reach to the center by 5:30. Fine. Right? Sunny, to do practicals, no need. For cloud consultation, no need of any software, Sunny. Directly you can connect using that link. It's the internet based. You don't need to download and install anything. Okay. Right. So this is all about our today's session, and we shall meet again on next Monday for our regular class. Next Monday for our regular class. So regular class is on Monday. Monday on what time? So that is 17th. Not 17th, 18th. 18th is Monday, right? Next class is on Monday. Okay, Aditya, just a few members may try to join because I should conduct initially in the first week. Fine. Those who miss that, I will provide the information, whatever we discuss. Okay. It's not a class, it's a double clarification. Fine. Thank you all. Good day to you, and participate in feedback as part of our regular session. And good night. Do machine room well.